So, Robin, you're involved in the City of London Festival. Tell me something about it.
City of London Festival has now been going for 50 years. It's at the heart of what the city is all about. Some people think that the city is all about finance. Well, that is true. It's a very great financial centre, but it's also a great arts centre, and any big capital city of the world has its own arts centre. This festival takes place in the last weeks of June, the early weeks of July, every year, and has been doing so for 50 years. And it brings together artists from all over the world. We've actually adopted over the years a number of what we call trading places. So while London and the UK trade with other parts of the world, we have invited those back to come and perform in this place. So this year we've got people from Sweden, all over Europe, people from Australia, and even people who were with us 50 years ago. And this is the other second thing, apart from trading places. It actually invites junior artists and celebrates them and allows them to grow. Colin Davis, Sir Colin Davis with the LSO, were at our first festival 50 years ago. John Williams, very famous, one of the famous classical guitarists now, still living, was at the festival 50 years ago, and they're returning this year. And so the trick will be, who are the artists that we're celebrating this year and introducing who will be around in 50 years?
And is this something that, is there something for everyone in this, or is it something that's, particularly for people who are interested in certain forms of music? I mean, are there different styles, different cultural things going on?
Well, the wonderful thing about the festival is that while it does open up the livery halls and all other places, St Paul's, the churches of London, for classical music, it also introduces a whole range of different arts. So there's dance, there's talking, there's lectures. There'll be a lecture from St Andrew Motion about the 50 years of the festival, for example, the Poet Laureate. There'll be a whole range of things done with schools, processions, where schools have put together fantastic arrays of flowers, because the theme is very environmental. Over the last 3 years, we've celebrated bees 2 years ago, we're celebrating flowers this year, and the children from all the Tower Hamlets schools have been putting together fantastic arrays of paper flowers, and there was a procession a week ago, and that will be celebrated and is being celebrated in Bow Church at this very moment.
So it sounds like a fantastic celebration of sort of arts, culture, music, heritage, British heritage.
Absolutely right.
And how does that fit? I mean, it's quite a sort of outward-facing event. It tries to bring in sort of different traditions, but it's very much a British thing, isn't it?
It's very British, but it's the attractive part of Britain, which is international Britain. In the sense that there are so many different artists and composers, living and dead, who have been celebrated and are being celebrated at the moment. So it starts with Berlioz, goes through Bach and Beethoven, and ends up with, I can't think of another B, but there are Tansy Davies and various others who have done a Delphic B. There's another B for you.
And I think that, I was reading in the guide, I think that there are all sorts of free events as well. It's not just sort of...
yes, there are outdoor events. We have a whole retinue of outdoor events. So it started off with a beautiful garden called the Euromix Garden, and people from France, a cappella group, started it. Swiss, Italian and others have been coming there in Broadgate Circle. And right through, there have been the most famous part of the outdoor events now has been the 50 grand pianos that have been situated all over the city, from Berkeley Square right through to Victoria Embankment Gardens, right through to Paternoster Square. There's a piano at your doorstep. You can play it when you want and how you want.
And finally, what do you think this says about modern London, modern Britain? What sort of message does it send to? Well, what sort of message does it send to ourselves in terms of the kind of country, the kind of city we are, and certainly what sort of message does it send abroad?
I think the fundamental message is that business is not just business. Business functions when there are the arts coalescing with it. Business produces wealth, wealth funds the arts are a crucial part of culture and a crucial part of life. And so celebrating culture like this in the middle of a business centre is absolutely crucial.
Robin Lineker, thank you very much.